What's up, everybody? Today we're here to talk about another controversial subject, which is the newest Robin Hood show. Well, the director of this new show is addressing a series of what he's saying that it's being reviewed bomb on IMGM. Well, if you don't know anything about it, this show, well, it is a show in which is literally reinventing Robin Hood. That is nothing new lately, because a lot of stuff that we've been seeing today is a rehash of older stories. So this Robin Hood is not just gender swapped, but is also race swapped. So we don't have the classical Robin Hood. It is a lady who plays the role, and as I understand, it's not really taking place in medieval times. I believe so. Anyway, so let's talk about the review bombing here, and if that is really a real possibility. Well, would people take time out of their lives to go and review bomb something? Perhaps yes. That's something that I find you have to have a lot of time in your hands to do stuff like that. But at the same time, it could also be that people didn't like the show and they just went over there and just gave it a bad review. Because the problem is what Hollywood doesn't understand, it just mind blows me. It's not that people are against diversity. I mean, how many times do I have to say that? The problem isn't the diversity. The problem it is how it is created or immersed into stories. To begin with, it's not even new and creative stories. It's always something that we already know, and they have to just, like I said, gender swap, race swap for, I don't know, shock value, shock purpose. It feels like they want to piss people off on purpose. That stuff has been proven to not work so many times now that it's really baffling that studios are still putting money on it. I mean, we have, what do we have? We have Terminator Dark Fate, failed. We have, I don't know, the Batgirl show that also failed. We had Charlie Angels was also really bad. I remember the director was talking bad about men and stuff like that. I mean, you have to really rethink that if people are actually reviewing bombing and on purpose, or if they just really didn't like the show because they don't like this idea that you're messing with characters that are pre-established. You know, why do you need to do Robin Hood this way instead of just creating a new and interesting story? That's something that I find very weird. Like, it feels like people want you to talk about it, no matter if you're talking good or bad. Publicity is publicity. Sometimes that's what I think is the only strategy. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's see what the article is saying. Director X called out racist rating bombing his new show, Robin Hood, on Monday, October 2. The legendary director took to Twitter, to Instagram, to bring awareness to the bigot phenomenon. The post featured a length caption and a detailed clip running through how deep the alleged hatreds for this show and black people runs. See, that's the other problem, you know. If the show fails or if people is not doing very well, they're always gonna blame it. Oh, it's because of race. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because of the way things are being done, you know. I don't remember people reviewing bombing Blade, you know. How is Blade depicted in the comics? I loved the movie. I thought that movie is great fun. I mean, 2 and 3 weren't that great, but the first one was really good, and Wesley Snipes rocks. I don't remember people having that problem back then. Why is this happening with Robin Hood? I wonder why. Let's see what else is saying here. From the moment Robin Hood TV announced it was going into production, these goons have been making YouTube videos and tweeting about the show. Well, I never heard about it until I ran into this article. But anyways, he typed angry. It was a black woman playing Robin Hood. I think it's angry that, yes, okay. Of course, there are people that are racist, people that are doing this malicious comments. I don't know, whatever people are doing. I totally understand. But on the other hand, I also understand that there's nothing new here. It's a rehash of a classic story. It's just I don't think people tend to like when you mess with classics. You know, why would you change that? If you really want to bring awareness to, you know, or diversity, you should write a new and creative story. But the problem nowadays, it feels like writers can't do anything new. It's just so sad. Look at entertainment nowadays. Everything is like remake, reboot. Like, people can't think of stories anymore. You know, it's so sad. And then what they do, they have to go back to, oh, let's get a classic and just do something that really will piss people off, like race swapping everyone, gender swapping everyone. I just don't like this stuff. Let's see what else he's saying. Robin Hood is a reimagined version of the famous Robin Hood story. Jessie Romeo, a black woman, stars as the title hero instead of a white actor. Additionally, the cast features black actors and other people of color in supporting roles. Leading up to the show's premiere, many YouTubers called out the series for being woke garbage. Wow. And then the director posted on Instagram, so my show is getting reviewed rating bomb. He began, it's a 1.6. Sorry to say, but it's actually now 1.1. It's even worse. Shh, that's rough. What else? Let me go back here. You're probably like, why would someone do that? It's just a TV show. Well, being that Robyn is actually a black woman this time, the angry nerd community is very upset. In fact, it was announced these guys lost their minds. Oh, gosh. I mean, we've seen this story with Star Wars as well. You know, people were just, you know, talking about Rey and complaining that, oh, why does the movie have to be... And to be honest with you, yes, maybe there were some people, like I said, there are bad people everywhere, but there are some people, real fans, that were complaining about the story and how they thought the movie was going, how they're not really making the character interesting, instead just giving everything to the character, not having the character struggle. It's a big flaw when you're writing a movie. It's not the fact that she was female, you know. We have had many female-led movies that were great successes. But nowadays, when you try to kind of preach a narrative and just say, oh, men are bad, just the women are good, or white people are horrible, and like you keep creating this division, is just, I don't know. I just don't understand. A lot of this stuff is just really crazy to me. So anyways, guys, I think that a lot of the complaint has mostly to do with the fact that it lacks creativity. You know, people need to start doing like they did in the past when it comes to inventing new stories. If you're so concerned about, you know, oh, everything, you know, how stories were written before, if you didn't like them, write the new ones. And then if it fails, you just have to also man up and say, maybe people didn't like it. I need to start thinking, what was I doing wrong that people didn't like it? It just doesn't make sense to just always blame people and fandom if they complain about something. You know, if you are a filmmaker, criticism, it's something really important to your work. I mean, sometimes it's harsh, most of the time it is harsh, but it's also something that makes things better. If you look back at the, you know, let's go back to the Star Wars, and when people were really unhappy with the amount of screen time Jar Jar Binks was getting, and then we clearly see a difference in the other films. I mean, George Lucas heard the criticism there. He might not have been so happy about it, but he did hear the criticism there. As far as people are really getting out of the ways to go on IMDb and review bombing, I'm not so sure, because all I have to do is just compare this sort of work with other types of works that are very similar, such as, you know, Terminator Dark Fate. Go and check it out, the reviews over there. Like Charlie Angels, all these films that were like reboots from classic films, and classic films were much better, right? Like the original Terminator, Sarah Connor was awesome, and then she turns out to be in Terminator Dark Fate like this bitter woman. I mean, of course, she does become a little bitter, late and crazy because she was taking care of Connor, but not in the way that she was depicted in Terminator Dark Fate. I just don't want to get into more into that because it pisses me off, because she was always such an awesome woman, not just because she was John Connor's mother or a womb, because that's how she implies in the movie, but because she was awesome enough to even kill a Terminator, you know, in the first film. And I mean, she's just always been badass, and too, they wrote her off like this weird person, and that didn't do very well. So I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with the fact that this isn't creative. This is just lazy writing. You're just getting a story that it was already pre-written. To me, like, it feels like we live in an era of subverting expectations. Instead of creating something new, all we have to do is just, oh, let's just get this classic story and just make it a black woman. That would be diverse, and that would just be enough. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's enough. It's the same thing when you get a classic story like the female Ghostbuster films and you think you're honoring female stories. I don't think so. We already have the original film. If you really want to honor make a female badass movie, create something new, something inventive, not something that is just using a movie filled with females that now can just bash on the male classic movies that came before. It's just, come on, nobody wants to see that. That stuff does not make money, and this is kind of old news, so come on. But anyways, guys, what do you think? Do you think people are actually going out of their way to review bombing this show, or do you think that people just really didn't like it? It seems like another thing that he mentioned in his video that is in the article is also the fact that, oh, the show isn't available in this country and in that country. However, nowadays that means nothing, because if you have VPN, you can just basically access stuff for whatever country you want, and that's the reality we live nowadays. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments down below. Let me know, do you think people are really reviewing bombing this show or not? And again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.